So let's talk about the DNC. The race to lead the Democratic National Committee beginning to take shape as two candidates have formally announced their bids. Minnesota Democratic Farm Labor Chair and current Vice Chair of the DNC, Ken Martin, joined the race last week. Also, former Commissioner of the Social Security Administration and former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley also in the running for the committee's top spot. And the former governor joins us now. Governor O'Malley, great to have you with us. So you have thrown your hat into the ring on the heels of this loss here by Kamala Harris in the race. Why do you think you are the right person for this job, and how do you see the party right now in terms of what it needs to change?
Willie, I'm the right person for this job because what the DNC needs right now is not a caretaker chair, but a change maker. Someone that can pull this party together, who can allow us the space we need to listen not only to one another, but especially to the voters, the people who spoke to us from their kitchen tables and said, look, we've lost sight of you guys. Are you fighting for us, or are you doing something else? So I am the only person in this race with the operational experience to turn things around, and I've proven that at every level. I chaired a national committee, the Democratic governors, for 3 years in a row, where we won back states like Montana, Missouri, Kentucky. And finally, I've run for office myself. So I know what it means to engage in those kitchen table economic issues and persuade people to vote for the choices we make, which makes their families stronger.
As you know, Governor, there's been all kinds of debate over the last 3 weeks about what Democrats should have done, who they talked to, who they didn't talk to in terms of their voters, losing Latino voters, black voters. This was not just about the white working class, as has been discussed in the past with regards to Donald Trump. This was something else. So what went wrong, and how would you change the approach?
We need to be more engaged, Willie, like all year round. The truth is, a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden 4 years ago didn't even turn out to vote this year. So what the ads, a lot of the ads I saw were in this race didn't speak very directly to the concerns that people have, the anxieties and the fears they have about the future. High costs of living, costs of prescription drugs, whether I'm going to be able to have a secure retirement and Social Security will be there for me. But in some states where Donald Trump won, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, our Senate candidates won, even though the president carried that state. So we need to learn from not only the places where we failed to connect, but we need to learn from those candidates who did connect and who did win. The message has to be always tied back to the kitchen table. That's what I learned when I ran for city council, when I was mayor of the city of Baltimore, when I ran for re-election after the recession as a governor. It's the high cost of living. It's the things that matter to people, and that's what we need to talk about. The good news here, Willie, is this change that we need to win is really a return to our true selves, that party of FDR, the party that says we have nothing to fear but fear itself. The other guy's twisted talent is fear. Ours is about hope for tomorrow because of the actions we take today to strengthen every family's economic well-being and the health and well-being of their kids.
Governor, let me ask you, I agree that you need to deal with kitchen table issues. And I think to some large degree, the candidate, Vice President Harris, did, though a lot of the message may not have gotten through. But how much do you think misogyny played in this, in terms of some people just were not going to vote for a woman, which is the same thing Hillary Clinton had to deal with? How much do you think race dealt with this? I mean, are we overlooking some of the things that America still has to grapple with and grow into?
Well, I think all of those are factors. I mean, we're a country, we're not yet the perfect union, are we? I mean, there's a lot of scars that come along with our painful 300-year history, and so that's all part of the terrain. You know, another part of the terrain is that we have not done as a party the job we need to do to protect voting rights. What does it say about us as a party that will only go into court in swing districts and swing states to defend voting rights? We need to be a much more full-throated, robust party. Our bedrock principles are the belief in the dignity of every person, and we make no compromise on those things. But we need to walk the walk. We need to defend voting rights, and the only way to make America a fair and better place is to look to tomorrow and take action right here and now. And there is no more important institution in our country right now than the Democratic Party to articulate that vision forward, to return to our true selves.
Governor, how is it that so many Democrats on a national level this past fall seem to have ignored the fact that there's a difference between the national economy that they would all boast as the strongest in the world, that's true, but fail to outline the problems with the actual lived economy of average Americans in Maryland and everywhere? The cost of gas, filling up half a tank of gas instead of a full tank, buying store products instead of brand products. How is it that so many seem to have missed the reality of life in addressing voters?
Mike, I'm not sure. I wasn't involved in the campaign. I was turning around Social Security, which was what the president asked me to do because it was in a customer service crisis. But look, I was talking to people all across the country and in Social Security offices. The anxiety, the fear of tomorrow is very real. And people won't listen to our candidates unless our candidates acknowledge that, acknowledge the challenges, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the negative perceptions. At least that's what I learned in running for office. You have to meet people where they're at. And some of our candidates did that. Hakeem Jeffries and his caucus managed to flip 6 districts from red to blue. Those candidates I mentioned in those Senate races. So consultants, Mike, they have a way of wanting to tell you that the only way to win a race is to go totally negative. They become very cynical. They tell candidates, don't engage in the economic argument. And yet, that's the discussion that the people of the United States want to have. And I think they felt that we were not as connected to their reality. We need to reconnect. We need to rebuild our party, and we need to win elections. But we have to change if we're going to win.
Former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley now officially running for chair of the Democratic National Committee. Governor, thanks for your time this morning.
Good
luck. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.